It's time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigeria and in Nigerian newspapers. With me in the studio, on Skype rather, is Chartered Accountant and Public Affairs Analyst Sheson Kwade. Sheson, good morning.
Good morning, Mike. Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. Nice to see you, really. Okay,
It's a pleasure
let's
having me around.
let's start with the stories before we come to you. Daily Times is the first paper we're looking at here, and Daily Times says drama as Wike rescues NDDC ex-MD from police. Okay, that's Daily Times. Leadership newspaper, on the other hand, says a race for National Assembly clerk intensifies as 5 jostle for Omolori's job. That's a leadership newspaper. That's what the leadership newspaper has this morning. Race for National Assembly clerk intensifies as 5 jostle for Omolori's job. And candidates must undergo thorough security screening. That's the CSO saying this. And the commission queries outgoing CNA, accuses him of insubordination. PMB wades into 774,000 job saga, reads riot act to ministers, MDAs on the executive legislature ties. A relationship beyond one president's appointee. Lawan is saying this. Okay, that's on the leadership newspaper. National Economy is next now. National Economy says Labour lauds federal government's move to generate 250,000 jobs and $500 million from gold mining annually. PMB reaffirms commitment to establish gold refineries in Nigeria. And Ayuba Waba seeks massive investments from private sector. As former gold mining will eliminate insecurity, illegality. KB governor is saying this. Okay, I guess my guests will be interested in this topic when we open discussion. All right, now the News Direct is where we go next. News Direct is on NDDC probe, and it says Buhari wants coordinated investigation. National Assembly orders Ponde's arrest as Wike rescues Nunye. Okay, that's the stories on the News Direct. Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint is next. It says federal government to VIPs on COVID-19 protocols. Respect yourself or risk 10-year jail. Accuses Fintiri, Yari of airport breach. Fan lied. Adama is saying this. I never assaulted officials. Ex-Zamfara governor. Okay. It's a back and forth there, but the message is clear to ensure that everyone respects the protocols at the airports, whether it's the chief executive or anyone else. Okay. Daily Trust is the last paper now. It says the Daily Trust newspaper says concerns over standoffs between National Assembly heads of agencies. An MP is accused of extortion, and why will continue to clash. As the lawmakers given reasons there. I wouldn't tolerate disrespect to legislature, Buhari vows. And there's system failure. Lawyers, the CSO are saying this. And certainly the front page of the Daily Trust has a breakdown of some of the walkouts from the National Assembly from 2016 to 2018, and then in 2020 alone, we've had about 4 walkouts of such kind of committees already. Okay, that's what we have on the Daily Trust newspaper. Let's get into the discussion now. Sheson, the story on the national economy will interest you because this touches on the issue and the call for diversification of the economy that Nigerians have been calling for so many years now. Now, the national economy says Labour lauds federal government's move to generate 250,000 jobs and $500 million from gold mining annually. And PMB reaffirms commitment to establish gold refineries in Nigeria. Now, I wonder how elated you are with this story, Sheson.
Thank you very much, Mike. That is a very good thing we are clamoring for all this while, that enough of reliance on the oil. At a time, people were yearning that how we wish we can allow the oil to dry up so that we can look at other areas to concentrate on. Mike, let truth be told, this country is blessed with resources. The only problem we have is government putting the right infrastructure to exploit some of these things for us to develop as a nation. You discover that some of the gold mining areas we have before now are actually being done by individuals for their selfish interest. And this has actually degenerated the income of the nation as a whole. But now that government is taking up the responsibility to have it, and we have even said at a particular time that some of these individual miners that we have that does not have government approval to do some of these things, can we have an handshake with them in such a way that they have understanding of the business, invest in them, develop them the more, and give them the room for them to build that business and government ride on them? You see, the problem we've always been facing as a nation is that most of the successful countries, the government hardly put themselves into that business frame. All they do is to create an enabling environment for the private individuals to venture into it, and you will see growth go on. With this, the government is saying they want to create 25,000 jobs. Can we set up private public partnership in such a way that the private people who understand the business can drive this force, and government definitely will just create the enabling environment, and we see some of those things working. Before we know it, the government will take over this, and you see it being politicized. People want their own people to be part of it, and you will not get the actual people that should do that thing, and before you know it, everything will go to individual posts. We want a situation where this that they have actually discovered, and the CBN is venturing into it, to have a PP, the private public partnership, allow the business tycoon to drive this thing. All we need them to do, create an enabling environment for the business to succeed.
All right, now you talk about the issue of illegal mining and all of that. Certainly, it is reported that the president said that about $3 billion is being lost in the smuggling of gold, and much of that is mined illegally. Now, draw attention to the issue of the congestion of the exclusive legislative list. Now, as far as the Constitution is concerned, no state in the country can be involved in mining of any resources or natural resources within its jurisdiction. But do you think that has to change for things to turn around?
It must change. Why must this change? People in that particular locality, in fact, it is not the government that deposited it there. God gave them that thing to develop their area. Let's see what we are experiencing in the Niger Delta, where we get this oil from. You discover that we have oil spillage all around. People are suffering and they are not developed. It's high time we look at the Constitution. But you see, there's a challenge. The state governor that we are going to divert some of this power to, how reliable are they to make sure that their people benefit from it? They have failed even there, because we see them very close to the people, but they are not given the accumulate some of the things that they are supposed to benefit from. So you discover that people does not even have confidence in them at the state level, and it becomes a problem. But the right thing is that the people in that particular area should be the first beneficiary. Otherwise, what you see, if the federal government had to take full charge, you see somebody going all the way from Lagos, recruited to go and work in that part, and bringing such income to where it shouldn't be. But what we must first experience is that the people, the locality, the environment must first benefit from the mineral resources that they are endowed with. Give them good skills. Let them develop themselves. And from there, you discover that other states will look for ways in which they can. Let me tell you, all the 33 states in this country are endowed with one mineral resources or the other. But the problem is that we are all looking at the central. We want them to give us the resources for us to rely. But in a situation where you discover that states with the resources are the ones that are benefiting from it, I'm telling you, every governor will be creative in such a way to look at what exactly can I do. Take, for example, Lagos State. They discovered that there is no resources for them to get, but they drive their IG out with whatever they have. So even if you don't have
All right,
resources,
Sheson.
there are
Sheson, let me put you on hold a little bit, and I'll certainly come back to you. Now, my colleague Veronica was on her way to the office this morning, and then the traffic from her access, it's terrible. I'm going to have her on right now to bring us to speed with what is going on. She's somewhere around CMD Road. Veronica, if you can hear me, talk to me right now. You were supposed to be in the studio, but you were right there in traffic.
A journey of 20 minutes. I've spent almost 2 hours on the way. Traffic. And you know how Lagosians are with traffic. Impatient drivers, impatient passengers, or angry-looking passengers. And so everyone is struggling to get to their offices at this point. Now, the traffic is from the expressway towards Lagos, and it is some parts from Kara Bridge, and so the situation has been a tough one. Even now, a lot of people are angry with me that I'm not allowing them move. So this is what the situation is here now, Mike.
Yeah, but the point there is, you talk about impatience from drivers and all of that. So far, are there any traffic wardens or road safety officials or police helping out in all of that coordination?
Mike, safety officials, security officials, all on the way trying to coordinate. Else, I wouldn't have gotten to this point right now.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's leave it here now. I hope that you are able to make it to the studio for the program. It happens sometimes, and anyway, just be patient. We hope to see you when you come in. Thank you very much. All right, Sheson, let me come back to you. We had to delve into understanding the nature of traffic right there on the road. Now, I wonder, how long do you think it's going to take for this move by the federal government to take root, and then for Nigerians to start benefiting from that aspect of the diversification that we are talking about? Sheson.
The government can listen by inviting the private sector to partner with the government. All we need the government to do is to make sure that they create an enabling environment. Let me just borrow this with you. Imagine the refinery being built by Dangote, which the federal government themselves are relying on. All what they've tried to do is to give certain incentive to Dangote for that refinery. So you discover that if we have if we have business, people that understand business, you see, the essence of business is business. And what does that connote? Is to tell you that we are in this thing to make people better, to make people grow. So we discover that government in every area has actually failed in managing business.
Okay. Sheson, I'm afraid we have to leave it here now due to time. But I must thank you so much for your insight and your contribution on this topic.
Time to take a look at stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. And joining me via Skype is Sheson Okwade and also Chris Kende Wadu. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast. All right, we head straight now to the papers, and I begin with the Daily Times. Drama as Wike rescues NDDC ex-MD from police. And we move now to the leadership newspaper. Race for National Assembly clerk intensifies as 5 jostle for Omolori's job. To the national economy now, Labour lauds federal government's move to generate 250,000 jobs, $500 million from gold mining annually. President Muhammadu Buhari reaffirms commitment to establish gold refineries in Nigeria. Ayuba Waba seeks massive investments from private sector. And then we move now to the front page of the News Direct. NDDC probe, Buhari wants coordinated investigation. National Assembly orders Pandey's arrest as Wike rescues Nune. And on the front page of the blueprint, federal government to VIPs on COVID-19 protocol, respect yourself or risk 10-year jail. Accuses Fintiri Yari of airport breach, fan lied. Adama, I never assaulted officials, ex-Zamfara governor. And finally, on the front page of the Daily Trust, concerns over standoff between National Assembly, heads of agencies, MPs accused of extortion. Why will continue to clash? Lawmakers, I won't tolerate disrespect to legislature, Buhari vows. There's system failure, lawyers and CSOs speaking there. Right. Okay, let's look at the story now on the front page of the News Direct, talking about the NDDC probe. Buhari wants coordinated investigation. Chris, I'm certain that you have been following developments with the NDDC, and yesterday, as it is reported, there was an unfolding drama where security agents were said to have gone to Joy Nune's residence, but the governor, Wike, came to her rescue. And now the president says he wants coordination. He wants to get to the root of the matter. I wonder what you make of the unfolding drama and the president's comments.
Well, the president's comment is timely. Anything short of that is not acceptable to Nigerians. It's rather unfortunate that we are going this road again, and also rather unfortunate that rather than we going after the issues, we are not digressing into individuals. The allegations were made, very weighty allegations for that matter, on the plundering of the NDDC by the interim board, and the allegations were made. And the allegation is not just coming from outsiders, but from an insider who was the former acting managing director of the agency. And those were weighty allegations. Rather than addressing the issues raised, a minister and also some other members of that board are just going personal, which culminated into what happened yesterday, which is also very, very unfortunate. So, but with the directive from the president now, I think we should have a holistic look at the issues at stake, and those found culpable to be brought to book. It's not unfortunate that the NDDC, which was established to take care of issues concerning the Niger Delta, which over the years has witnessed serious backwardness in terms of development and the rest of them. The money that has been made available to develop that area is not going into individual pockets, not just millions, but billions. And if the
Chris, because we have spoken to a lot of persons on this matter who don't seem to think that we will get to the root of the issues that have seemingly beset the NDDC, such that the people for which the NDDC was set up for are not benefiting from the commission. Are you confident that with the call for this investigation, because what the president says he wants to ensure, achieve, is transparency and accountability, are you confident that we will get that at the end of the day?
If I tell you the truth, I'm not optimistic, sincerely. We've seen several probes in the past of various agencies, individuals, and those in government. And at the end of it, what comes out of it? Nothing, absolutely nothing. I will give the president the benefit of the doubt, but I so much doubt it, because if you look at what is playing out, even at the National Assembly, what happened yesterday, we had the acting managing director of the NDDC worked out on the committee set up by the House of Reps to probe the agency. That in itself speaks volume. So I personally, I don't feel, I'm not optimistic, but let me give the president the benefit of doubt and also look at the investigative panel the benefit of the doubt. But the problem, as I said, is this is rather unfortunate because this was an agency that was set up because of the agitation in the Niger Delta. You saw what happened years ago, where some people took to arms, the militants took to arms, and were destroying the pipelines and all sorts of manner of kidnapping and the rest of them in the Niger Delta, which led to the establishment of this agency. But look at the years, within the years, have this agency been able to achieve the set objectives and the reason why they were set up? No. Go to the whole Niger Delta area and see what is happening. And it's just unfortunate, rather unfortunate.
But the people for which the commission was set up, don't they have a role to play to ensure accountability and transparency with regards to the commission now? Shouldn't they be playing a major role here, Chris?
Yes, they should. And that is what I've been expecting. Instead of people trooping out marching for things that doesn't meet the necessary need. This is where I expect, especially the governors of the Niger Delta and those of some of the Southeast. The NDDC is not just for Niger Delta. There's also some states of the Southeast which are part of that. I expect the governors of this state to have met immediately and take a stand on behalf of their people. And they should be part of the probe because this is not a money only meant for the Niger Delta, but also some other oil-producing states of this. And apart from that, the most annoying part of it is that most of this allegation is coming from about people from this region. These are not members of the committee or member of that agency from other parts of the country. These are Niger Delta sons and daughters that are doing this, committing this crime against their own people. It is rather unfortunate that this is happening. And this is a pointer that Nigerians will not learn anything. We've not learned any lesson. And we'll continue to grab, some people just continue to grab and grab just to make sure that all agencies, everything put in place by government to make sure that their people move out of poverty doesn't work. Go to each and every of these committees in Niger Delta. You'll be shocked by what is happening. You'll be shocked by what is on ground. And so much billions have been pumped into this agency just to take care of these issues. All of them have just come to naught. It's just unfortunate, I continue to say.
Chris, this question we keep asking everyone we speak with on this matter. Do you think the commission has outlived its purpose?
No, I don't think so. The commission has not outlived its purpose. It's those that have been put in charge to take care of to handle issues in this commission that are just messing up. If you get people that are dedicated, who have a sense of purpose, who are in the same boat and the same with government, and put the necessary infrastructure, put the necessary things in place to be able to, it will work, it will fly. But all we see that everybody, right from the chairman, past chairman and managing directors and executive directors of these agencies have been so selfish, have been very, very selfish. Probably this is just the time for us to get people from other parts of the country, sincerely, I think, so that there won't be any level of patriotism. Since the members of the NDDC who are from the Niger Delta seems to be training their people, maybe we should get people from other regions to head this. It's not necessarily that the fact that it's a Niger Delta corporation doesn't mean that it should be headed by only Niger Delta. I think we should also get some people from other places and saddle them with this responsibility so that they can deliver on the promises made by the government. But that it should be scrapped, I don't think it should be scrapped. It's still relevant. It should be relevant. Not also forget, we also have the 30% reservation that go to this area, and there's still nothing to show for it, Vero.
All right, so Chris Kaindengwadu, thank you so much for your time on the Breakfast Show this morning.